All right, we are live. Let's see what's going on here. Chat check. Let's see, had the chat set up improperly earlier to begin with, so we don't have obviously statistics for North Wilkesboro, but we do have the betting odds for not only the All Star race, but we also have them for the All Star Open. So I guess that's what we will focus on today for this one. All right, Sunny V saying it sounds good, and the chat is working, so we will jump right into that. Looks like Ty Gibbs is getting the best odds at plus 220 to win the All Star Open. Josh Berry is second at plus 400. Eric Almirola is at also plus 400. Ryan Preece at plus 650. Justin Haley getting plus 1400. AJ Allmendinger plus 1800. I kind of like that one right there. Harrison Burton getting plus 1800. Corey LaJoy getting plus 2,200. Michael McDowell getting plus 2,500. Probably not a bad bet right there either. Noah Gregson down on the list at plus 2,500 as well. 2,500 for Todd Gilliland as well. Don't sleep on Todd Gilliland. Todd Gilliland has been good all season. Chandler Smith down there as well with plus 3,500. He is in colleague equipment, so don't sleep on Chandler Smith. So a lot of good ones. Ryan Newman plus 15,000, plus 25 for Ty Dillon, plus 30,000 for Josh Balicki and JJ Yaley. So there's definitely some good sleeper picks here. This is, of course, for the All-Star Open, not for the actual All-Star race, but a lot of good sleeper picks here. So let's see. Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry. I like them, and then I like the odds that they're giving AJ Allmendinger and Chandler Smith. I'm going to throw Michael McDowell too. So that's actually the question I'm going to ask. Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger. So there you go. I'm actually going to put up a poll here. Berry, we got Gibbs. Who was the other one that had good odds? AJ Allmendinger. Can't spell his name, so I'm just putting AJ in there. Of those, who are you taking there for the All-Star Open? And then we will get to the chat here. Sonny V saying it sounds good. Beast giving a thumbs up. What's up, Beast? What's up, T-Van? What's up, Sonny V? Homer Simpson, what's going on, Mon? What's going on, Mon? Joe Bob Purdue, afternoon. Today is the All-Star Sunday. That's right, Joe Bob. No problem. I think it's going to be probably a pretty good race. I don't think the heats probably gave you the racing you wanted to see, but I think with more cars on the track, I think it's going to be more entertaining. I think it's going to be action-packed. William Wagman said, I can hear you 100%. I love the new Bologna Burger shirt. I tried to get a selfie at the Dale Earnhardt Tribute Park in Kannapolis yesterday, but my camera wouldn't work. Oh, I hate it when that happens, man. Any weird format stuff for today? I think it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much a straightforward format. Junior had input on putting it together, so it looks kind of driver-friendly. I don't think they're going to do anything. They're going to have stages, but I don't think they're doing anything crazy with the stages. So I think it'll be good. I think there will be like one. They'll be on old tires, so I don't know if it's one tire stop or not. But they're definitely going to have to deal with tire wear, so that will play into it as well. And also, they didn't get a good look at it because yesterday in the heats they ran on the rain tire, so I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Gibbs at 53%. A lot of people going with Gibbs there, so they're taking the plus 220 action on Gibbs winning the All-Star Open. Let's see. What's up, Joshua Jenkins? Mark Barnum, what's up to all? I think Gibbs is a lock. Cup cars seem to have a hard time passing yesterday. Yeah, you have to remember they're on that rain tire too, and there were not as many cars. I think they've had a swing at it. They know what it's going to do, so they're going to have time to adjust on the cars. And B, they didn't have a swing at it on the tire, so that's going to be another issue. But there won't be a lot of passing. There's going to be a lot of rooting and gouging and moving people out of the way. And that's the way North Wilkesboro always was, to be totally honest. If you just go back and look at the past. So you're going to have to use the front bumper. So people that aren't using the front bumper, I think 100% they're going to have to just going to have to get over that and use the front bumper. I'm looking at you, Martin Truex Jr. Let's see, Bumblebee, what's going on? AJ, I'm a dingbat. Says William Wagaman. How hot was that new pavement on the infield? Says Homer Simpson. It was miserable, man. Like I hate to downgrade it because I don't want to say anything negative about North Wilkesboro. My overall point in that video was like, it was really cool to be there, but that asphalt was hot. Oh my God, it was miserable. I drank a gallon of water. Like I bought a legit gallon of water to drink, killed that gallon of water, killed an extra 2 bottles of water. I did drink 1 Coca-Cola because after a while, I just got super tired of drinking nothing but water. So I did drink 1 Coca-Cola, so that didn't help the cause. But the next morning when I woke up, I was dehydrated. Craig, who was driving on this particular adventure, he was dehydrated as well, and he also had a gallon of water, and he's much smaller than me. So it was just so hot. There was no way to keep hydrated. That's just how hot it was. Dale Jr. said in his Dirty Mo podcast deal that he himself, he said if it was 79 degrees outside, it felt like 90 or 92 or something like that. So I would agree with that. There was definitely about 20 degrees worth of radiant heat from that new asphalt, and it was not. That was definitely a downside of it, but overall a good time. Where was I at here? Everybody saying hey to EV. Everybody saying what's up to Bumblebee. I see Kyle and Mark Barnum. I like your hat, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, I figured since they're running the old throwback, Eric Jones running the throwback, I throw the old throwback hat on. Of course, huge Richard Petty fan. So pulling for EJ to have a good day as well. Young money for the double, says William Wagaman. So yeah, let's jump into we did the All-Star Opens. Let's go down here and look at the odds for the actual All-Star race itself. And they are saying Denny Hamlin at plus 750. Obviously, no numbers to go off of. So they're going off of just sort of, I guess, how people are betting and stuff like that. So for entertainment purposes only, Denny Hamlin at plus 750 is going to be your favorite. Kyle Larson, this is MGM, by the way, bet MGM. Plus 800, and I'm getting the Virginia link because I'm so close to the Virginia border. Plus 800 for Kyle Larson, plus 800 for William Byron, plus 900 for Christopher Bell, plus 1,000 for Chris Buescher. So that's interesting. And Daniel Suarez is plus 1,100. I like Suarez here. He jumped into a late model and had a good accounting for himself. And I can't explain to you how hard that is to do, especially in the Cars Tour, where late models are late models. That's one thing. But when you get to that level of the Cars Tour, that is basically professional late model racing. And for Daniel Suarez to jump in there and do as good as he did in that late model race, I was very impressed. This track very much seems to suit him. So I like plus 1,100 for Daniel Suarez there as sort of a sleeper. Chris Buescher, obviously, you can never bet against Chris Buescher. He's always knocking on the door. Then Seabell, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin. I don't think that really surprises anybody. It does surprise me that Denny Hamlin is the favorite, but not like, I guess, a whole lot. But those 4 being your favorites doesn't surprise me. Joey Logano at plus 1,200. Chase Briscoe plus 1,300. Plus 1,400 for Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick was pretty good here, too. They started off in that late model deal really slow, and they picked up speed. So I think the more repetitions Kevin Harvick gets here, the better off he's going to be. Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, and Brad Keselowski all at plus 1,400. Chase and Brad got around that joint pretty good in the late model race, so they've got some laps there. I like that for them. Kyle Busch plus 1,800. You can never go wrong betting Kyle Busch for sure. Tyler Reddick plus 2,000. The rain tires didn't seem to suit Tyler Reddick on this particular track. I don't know what was going on with him, but he was struggling. Ross Chastain plus 2,200. Ross Chastain didn't have a great setup in the late model race, but he looked like he figured it out in the truck. And for the speed he had in the late model race, he was driving the track pretty well. So plus 2,200 for Ross Chastain. Not a terrible pick. Then you get down here to Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has had a sneaky good year. He doesn't have the wins, but I like Ryan Blaney at plus 22. Austin Dillon at plus 2,500. Here's the argument I'm going to make for Austin Dillon. It is a crown jewel race, basically. He's had good speed. If we know anything about Austin Dillon, if it is a crown jewel type race, Austin Dillon shows up. Austin Dillon plus 2,500. Not necessarily the worst pick you can make. Plus 4,000 for Bubba Wallace. Austin Cindric is going to be plus 15,000. Ricky Stenhouse plus 15,000, and Eric Jones plus 15,000. So you got some long odds there if you want to roll the dice and go with the long odds there. If you're picking the long odds, I don't know who would be your better bet there. I guess Eric Jones, because he does have some practice laps, even though he didn't get to run the super late model race because it got rained out. So I do like Eric Jones there of the super long shots, but of course they are long shots for a reason. All right, let's jump back into the chat and see where we're at. Shaw says, "Hello, all. Finally made a stream with sick parents." Says Shaw, "Glad to have you back. Hope your parents feel better, man." Hey, let's see. Josh Strickland said, "What up? Talk about the racing and give it up to Augie Grill for the win. Did y'all run against them in North Wilkesboro?" We did not run against Augie. He was running the supers. We were running the pro late model. Or if he was running the pro late model, then we fell out with the oil line. But yeah, Augie Grill up there in age, but not old enough, but definitely old enough to win. So he definitely got it done. So it was definitely cool to see him win. Peanut Butter Hero, Caesar's building a new casino on the state line. Hey, so there you go. That'll be super convenient for me. I think they're building it in maybe Danville, maybe. Is that what I'm thinking? But we'll have to see where they put it at. I know they're building one in Danville, so that might be the one you're talking about. Danville, Virginia. Jason Elliott, I have a question. Just asked, maybe can you explain it to me? I hear Bubba complain about booze when Jeff Gordon beat Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, that was. I don't know. I don't super really want to get into that because there's so much that wasn't said and so much that can be taken one way or another. But a reporter asked Bubba Wallace a question if he was bothered by the boos and if the boos were louder here at North Wilkesboro, basically insinuating, in my opinion, that insinuating that Bubba was getting booed because of his skin color. So I don't know. I mean, that's up to him. All I can say is 2018, Bubba Wallace wasn't getting booed. Things have happened since 2018, and Bubba is getting booed. So I would say instead of insinuating you're getting booed because the fans are racist, I would say probably look at some things that have transpired that could possibly be why you're getting booed there. And also from the reporter's perspective, I didn't hear that reporter asking Denny Hamlin if it ever bothers him that he gets booed, because Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch all get booed just as loud as Bubba Wallace. So I feel like it was a really baiting question, and they put Bubba Wallace in a bad situation trying to answer that question, and he took the bait. So it is what it is, and that's all I'm really I want to say about that, because this is not going to devolve into a Bubba Wallace chat. I'm just not going to let that happen. Homer Simpson, I'm picking Corey LaJoie for the fan vote. Corey LaJoie is a good pick for the fan vote. Todd Gilliland, also a good one for the fan vote. Larson wins the All-Star race. How goes y'all, says Joseph Grosso. Yeah, I like Kyle Larson too. Nothing wrong with that. Jason Elliott had bottles of beer thrown in his car on track. If you remember that race when Jeff Gordon beat, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of reasons people get booed. Are there people that are racist that are booing Bubba Wallace because they're racist? Yes, but those same people were there in 2018, and there was only a few of them. So you have to figure out why so many more people are booing you now, if you really want to get into it like that. And there's several reasons. Like I said, I'm not turning this into a Bubba chat. Still, this is going to be about the All-Star. Still miss it at Charlotte and them flying down pit road to make a pit stop, says Danny Moore. Yeah, but at least you did have the pit stop competition to set the field, so that was cool. They did get the pit crews involved. Cup drivers showed their strength in the truck race. Yeah, some people liked it, some people hated it. That's always the case when they drop down and race down there. Denny the Hamlin, he drove a Spire truck, so I feel like he didn't necessarily drive top-notch equipment, but some people are arguing the other way. Yeah, Denny Hamlin is definitely going to be one of the favorites here, according to MGM, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Jason Elliott, and on a more serious things, this racetrack is a piece of junk, $180 million, and that's what they got. It's not finished yet. I'll just go ahead and say that. It's not finished yet. They haven't spent all the money, and there is more money to be spent there, and more upgrades are coming. So I'm thinking next year it's going to be a much nicer experience for the fans. But that being said, it's supposed to have an old school feel to it, so it's going to be an old school track. You're going for a nostalgic feel. If you want to cosplay old school, wear your mullet, wear your throwback T-shirt and stuff like that. This is what North Wilkesboro was like, and a lot of people had rose-colored glasses as to how the 90s were, but now that you're actually living in the 90s with a 90s style, because that was the last race run there, 90s style racetrack, people are like, oh, this sucks. And your cell phones don't work there because there's too many people and there's not enough broadband. So you're really living in the 90s because there's no cell phone reception either. So you can't just doom scroll on your phone. Peanut Butter Hero, RFK surprise. Oh, sorry. One wise guy said RFK surprised me with their speed. Yeah, I think RFK is going to be ones to reckon with there. So I wouldn't count out Brad Keselowski either. I didn't realize so many truck teams bought like 4 trucks per team, says Peanut Butter Hero. Yeah, I mean, it was a good payday for them getting those Cup drivers in there. They knew they'd have a good run. They knew they probably wouldn't wreck the truck, and they knew they'd have good sponsor money coming in. So I think that helped them out a lot. I guess scales of economy, says Peanut Butter Hero. Yeah, they took the money, right, and gave them good trucks, and they all had a good chance to win in the Truck Series, no doubt about it. I'm pulling for Suarez today, even though I think Larson takes it home. I wouldn't count out Daniel Suarez. He's been fast here all week and everything he's been in, so I like it. And like I said, I like Austin Dillon also as an upset favorite because he's been really fast. Nobody's talking about him, and this is one of those type of races because it's a crown jewel type race. You could see Austin Dillon winning this thing. Piece of junk. Road, do you understand history, says Brian Chastain. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a different racetrack. Some people will have the same comments about Martinsville and stuff like that. It's just all in what you want. Do you want an old school track, or do you want like one of the most modern tracks there is, like Phoenix, Kansas? It's all in what you want. I think Miami Homestead, somebody told me that one is up to par too. So it's just all in what you want in a fan experience, but just know what you're getting into. That's what I would say first. It is. They opened the temp facility the other week, says Peanut Butter Hero. I hope there's more passing today than there was yesterday, says X Dude. Yeah, I think a lot of people are on that boat. I do hope there is more passing. 100%. Brian Chastain says William Wagaman. Loved it at the press. North Wilkesboro was asking the drivers about returning to Rockingham. No one was concerned about oversaturation of the market back in the 90s. What are we now? Give them one date. Yeah. So on the outside of the, I didn't get to go to the fan side of it, but I could see the rafters driving in. There are some signs saying reserve your tickets for 2024. So it is getting another date, whether it be the All-Star race or whatever. But there will be another race at North Wilkesboro in the Cup Series next year. So they've already got plans for 2024. I'm calling for Larson to win the All-Star race, says Jimmy Schweitzer. I mean, I like that pick too. No doubt about it. He's definitely one of the favorites. He's getting booed because of his attitude, says Peanut Butter Hero. Talking about Bubba Wallace. Brian Chastain. It's a bottom lane track. Yeah, it's a one groove track. It is a one groove track, and you're going to have to move people to pass them. And hopefully it'll be moving and not just straight dumping and wrecking, because back in the day they had enough car control that they did wreck. A few Bubba Wallace comments here. I'm just going to skip them because, like I said, this is not going to devolve into that. Let's see. I got Larson winning the All-Star race, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, I think a lot of people so far. We got so let me go ahead and end this poll right here so I can start another one. Let's see here. In that poll, looks like Ty Gibbs, 46% are going with Ty Gibbs in that poll. Start a poll. Who wins the All-Star? Kyle Larson. I'm just going to go with the top 4 here. Denny Hamlin. Denny. What were the other options here? William Byron or Christopher Bell. And not for nothing, how many people watched the Dirt documentary? That was pretty cool. Talked about a lot of people at the racetrack were talking about that Dirt documentary because it aired basically the first day we were down there. Didn't know how competitive Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson actually were. But yeah, that was interesting because the Chili Bowl thing, when they interviewed C. Bell after he had won the previous 2 and Kyle Larson finally won his first one, and they said, how do you feel being on the other side of it after winning the previous 2? Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson won this one, and Christopher Bell said Kyle Larson's just another guy. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I didn't know that they were that competitive over there on the dirt side of things. So it actually makes more sense as to some of the controversy they've had over here on the Cup Series side of it. I didn't know how intense that was on the dirt deal, so that's pretty cool. I got to learn that. What's the weather today at the track? Heat race 1 with the weather, wet weather tires was pretty good. I don't know, but it should be hot enough to make the tires greasy and slick. I don't know. It'll probably be cooler at nighttime, but the humidity is going to be probably the bigger factor there. B-Man, let's see. I'm just sorry, B-Man. I'm not trying to turn this into a Bubba Wallace thing, so I'm going to skip that one. Can we talk about racing instead of BW? Says Bumblebee. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna skip the Bubba stuff because this will just evolve into Bubba Wallace, whether you like him or hate him fest, and I just don't want to get into that today. Let's see. Where should the I want to stay positive and talk about the All-Star race. Where should the All-Star race go, or should it stay? I'd be okay if it stayed at North Wilkesboro for another year. I think they're getting it for another year, 100%. Peanut Butter Hero saying it wasn't 180, it was 18. Big difference, says Peanut Butter Hero. Not sure what we're referencing there, but I think the All-Star race will stay at North Wilkesboro. Joshua Jenkins, I got Gibbs and Barry top 2 in the Open, and Gregson winning the fan vote. That's probably a pretty reasonable bet there. Maybe outside chance Corey LaJoy wins the fan votes. Oh, yeah, it's going to be tough. I wouldn't sleep on Chase Briscoe either. Chase Briscoe actually impressed me. Just random thought. Sorry about that. He impressed me in the late model as well. Not sure how many late model races he's ever had, if any, but to jump in a late model, the guys that ran good against these Cars Tour guys, they are absolute wheelmen, because to run good against these Cars Tour competitors, that's a heavy, tough task. And even Junior said that on his podcast the other day. I love short tracks best. Glad to see another one, says Shy. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great race. Hopefully it really showcases how good this track is, because we know this car doesn't necessarily like short tracks right now. So hopefully they get the tires right, and hopefully the one groove turns out to be one groove, and they got to move people, and they can get close enough to move people. People are spoiled with technology, says Philip Canavan. I think this whole age and generation we're living in is so spoiled, man. I wake up every day and I'm like, man, we got it so good right now. That's why I try to keep it positive, man. There's so much to be happy about. There's no need to focus on the negative. Bumblebee says, I've had a real nostalgic feeling watching everything there this week. The late models plus the pit crew competition has total throwback to TNN days for me. I love it. Yeah, it's definitely it's just like a real throwback. The track is not much different than when they left it, but they have upgraded the things they've upgraded. They've made it. I'm pretty sure they've taken care of the fans. That's why I wasn't too concerned about the infield. They'll get the infield stuff figured out. Plus the Cup guys, they live in these big, they got these really super nice haulers and stuff. So for them, it's probably not going to be as big a deal. But us late model guys, just walking in and out of just a regular type trailer and stuff like that. Although the Fogelmans had a nice stacker trailer, so I was kind of sort of in the stacker group. So I was on the upper side of the haulers there. But a regular dude with a regular late model trailer, it's rough on him because there's not much escaping from the heat unless you got a fan or something like that. It was super hot. I was surprised that there was only one vendor to get food at. So that did surprise me. I thought they would have at least 1 or 2 food trucks in there, more than the one they had. So I was expecting 3 or 4, but it is what it is. It was super crowded. There were so many haulers there that I don't know if they could have fit another food truck in there. It might have been a logistical thing. So like I said, very, very small qualms about the track myself. I like Dillon to win it, says the B-Man. Yeah, Austin Dillon. This is one of those times where Austin Dillon every once in a while sneaks up and gets one. This would be a perfect moment for another one of those to happen. Josh Strickland, I'm so very excited about the race at Wilkesboro. I wish it was a points race. I love the way the track looks. They don't all need it to be the same. It looks like a traditional track. Yeah, that's what I like too. It's a different feel. That was actually the cool thing about short tracks. Every short track is just a little bit different. Whereas you had the 1.5 miles, a lot of the 1.5 miles were really similar to each other. So I think that's actually what hurt the 1.5 miles more than anything else. Thorsport had 5 trucks. They were not too strong. They've been weak the last 2 races. Yeah, but Ty Majeski was up there. Ty Majeski, Thor Sport, he was making a run for it there at the end. So not all of them were in bad shape. And then Haley Deegan either turned right or a piece of suspension broke, and she took out Brian Thompson. So that was Dean Thompson, not Brian Thompson. Brian Thompson was a teacher's assistant in Appalachian State. Dean Thompson. Sorry about that. Some people complain no matter what the track or NASCAR does, says Jason Pons. Yeah, so that's another thing. Sometimes you're just not going to make anybody happy. It's just the era we live in with social media. You get more attention, clicks, and likes for negativity. And that's just the way it is. So you're sort of trained to be negative in a lot of ways. Like dislike, how much horsepower does Xfinity Series cars have in trucks? I couldn't give you specific numbers. They don't basically give you any real numbers about that stuff anymore. You can probably look up trucks. Would be the most accurate because Ilmor produces all those engines, and I feel like Ilmor is not shy about telling you the numbers on that one. So you could probably get the number on trucks, but I don't know. Obviously Cup Series is like 650, like the 650 package at most places. If Gibbs gets the fan vote, then there's something wrong, or 550 package, whatever it is. Then there's something wrong. I don't know. There's a lot of Joe Gibbs fans out there, but he might win the race. I would say that those three that were picked earlier, I can't remember who picked them, but Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, and Ty Gibbs, them getting in any which type of way, I would say that's probably a pretty safe bet. As long as asphalt doesn't start coming apart during the race, I'm all for keeping it. Yeah, I think they'll keep it this time. I think they'll tear it up for next race. The asphalt's actually not coming up. It's the sealer. The sealer is what's coming up. I know they had one little thing they had to patch, but the sealer is the main thing that's coming up that I guess would concern them or whatever. I'm 60 years old. If you ain't going to do the bump and you ain't going to get over at the hump to win this race, and that's a fact. That's old school, and that's an old school track, and you can see nobody can pass, says Jason Elliott. Yeah, that's a fact. If you don't use the bump and run today, good luck. Good luck. You're going to have a rough day. Today there will be a lot more of the traditional bump and run. Hopefully not the dump and run, says Mark Martin fan for life. That's what I'm hoping too. I don't want to see people just getting dumped and getting ill because somebody bump and ran on them and then dumped them like Annabeth Crum did to did over there at Hickory. So that was kind of bull crap too. North Wilkesboro kind of, and then her husband fighting in the stands and then stomping the dude. That's there's no place for that. He's a piece of shit for that. Josh Crum can suck one for all I care. North Wilkesboro kind of looks like a hybrid of the Nashville Fairgrounds in Richmond. I never realized there was so much elevation. It gives its unique character more than the 5/8 mile length, says Napa Racing Fan 927. Yeah, it's a super fast track and it's elevated both ways. It's just super unique. It's gonna take some drivers a long time to wrap their heads around it, and some drivers, like I was talking about, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe, those guys earlier, they seem to have adapted to it really quick. So it's gonna be interesting to see who runs well and who gets this win today. Bump and run today, heck yeah, says Josh Strickland. So far, Larson 73% on this particular poll. Brian Chastain saying the trucks were running on the concrete next to the wall for a little bit more grip. Yeah, so there's also that too. We might see the lanes change a little bit as the race goes on. People searching around and looking for grip. You got to remember those heat races, you didn't necessarily get enough laps for tire fall off. So that's another thing you would have to look for. There might be some passing later on as this thing goes longer. I think they need to run the rain tires all night from the reaction I heard from the drivers yesterday, says T-Van. I don't know if they could run them all night, but it shows how much tire fall off plays into good racing. I will say that. So maybe if you make a tire with better fall off, you don't have to always go to the rain tire. Yeah, those tires definitely perform, says Brian Chastain. I want the 29 to win today. Yes, Elliott is my driver, but I've always been a fan of Harvick. I love to see him win one more time in the 29, says Napa Racing Fan. I think that there are a ton of people that are definitely in that boat, 100%. And definitely don't put it past him because he's got that 29 on the side of the car, him and Rodney Childers, because Rodney Childers was his crew chief for the late model race. The more laps you give those two at a racetrack to figure things out, the better chance they got. RJ says, how long do you think the surface is going to last before fans demand a repave at North Wilkesboro? It'll last until the first chunk that comes out and takes out somebody's super favorite driver. Let's say a chunk comes out and it takes out Chase Elliott's chance to win the race. That's the moment that they're going to be like, we need new asphalt. And to be fair, the track wanted to put new asphalt on there. The drivers are the ones that wanted the asphalt to stay the same. So if the racetrack comes up tonight, do not complain to the racetrack. Do not complain to NASCAR. Complain to the drivers and Dale Jr. in specifically, because he is the one that made the biggest push to keep the asphalt like it is. Homer Simpson, do you think they put down some traction compound that would help with a second groove? I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to let it play out and be natural because they want this to be like an actual throwback race. So I doubt that they're going to do that. And I was looking at the track when I was there for the late model stuff. And they didn't put anything down but sealer to seal the cracks. So I think that's the only thing that'll be down there. Poll vote, none of the above. They only let me put 4 options on there. So I tell you what, I can do another poll here. I will end that poll. But when I end that poll, obviously it's going to make me lose my place. So I'll try to find my place back up here. Start another poll. Who wins? Obviously, seems to be popular here. Let's see. You know what? We'll make it more interesting. Larson, Elliott, Chastain. Let's go Harvick here. Harvick seems to have run better here. All right, there we go. A little bit, maybe a better. We'll get some different answers now, maybe. So we'll see. I'm just going to jump here because I've lost my spot. So I'm going to start here. 40 T-Van 43 for the best paint scheme. If I missed your comment, I apologize. Just put it back down here, and I'll try to get to it. But whenever I put up a poll, I always lose my spot. So that's why you got skipped. Apologies. 43 for the best paint scheme. Always love seeing that scheme, says T-Van. It is gorgeous. I hope they win best paint scheme because I was a big Richard Petty fan, and that's the one that I remember the most or the best. One that like that or similar. Brad has been running really well. RFK is becoming the best Ford team. Yeah, two Ford drivers that aren't really getting talked about a lot. Kevin Harvick's doing the best in the points, but Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney are having sneaky, really good years for Ford, despite having a car or a nose that is not up to snuff. Repave North Wilkesboro and pave the corners like Martinsville. If they repaved it in concrete, I think that would be good too. So there's a lot of different options they could do too. Let's see. I think that the 23 has a scheme as well, says one wise guy. Yeah, it's a gorgeous car. That Columbia car looks really good, one wise guy. I agree with that 100%. Let's see. Best paint scheme for North Wilkesboro, hands down, is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick's a good one for sure. Like I said, Richard Petty homer, so I like the STP one. Kevin Harvick one is really good. I'm a Kevin Harvick homer too, so I'd probably put that one second. So for old school retro, those would be my 1 and 2. For new school, as far as that goes, the Columbia car, it's pretty legit. And Anthony Bailey saying the Columbia cars are usually fire. I remember that year that Eric Jones had a Columbia car, and Bubba Wallace also had the Columbia car. Both of those I thought were really good looking cars. So Columbia does do a good job with their stuff. It would be awesome for Ross to bump and run Denny Sucks for the win. The internet would have a meltdown. That's actually what I was pulling for in the late model race. I told a few people from a storytelling perspective in that late model race, you wanted Ross Chastain to wreck Dale Jr. at some point in that race because then it would really hit the fan. But yeah, if he bumps Chase Elliott or anybody in this race, that's what you want to see from a storytelling perspective. The people with the Ross derangement syndrome would lose their absolute minds if any of the favorites got taken out by Ross. 29 would be cool, says Shaw, for sure. Edwards, for sure, says Shaw. Carl by far, says Homer Simpson. So yeah, Carl Edwards would love to see him back at some point, no doubt about it. Like dislike drivers want more horsepower. Fans want more horsepower. NASCAR doesn't want more horsepower. Other OEMs, that's not interested in NASCAR. Yep. So it's a fine line that they got to watch. Bumblebee saying beat Dale Jr.'s butt if you have complaints. Talking about the repave. Yeah, so if the track comes up, that's on Junior. No two ways around it. But I like that he put his opinion out there and stuck with it. So that was pretty cool too. Let's see. I might need to do a poll on best paint scheme, says Homer Simpson. So yeah, let me know down here. I will do a poll on the best paint scheme. Let me know down in the comments who you think has the best paint scheme, and I will make of those four. I will put the best four, and we'll vote on that one. Mopar return. These wussy cars kind of suck, says Shy. Yeah, it would be cool to see Dodge come back. They were thinking about it, and then whatever happened, and they pulled back on it. So hopefully they get into it and they do it. EB complained to Mickey and Donald Duck, says Mark Barnum. I'd have to have the Busher in the poll, says Mark Martin fan for life. 43 car is bad to the bone, says Josh Strickland. Watch Blaney win the All-Star and go winless the rest of the season, says Say Kyle. Yeah, what if Blaney goes back to back on the All-Star and then doesn't get another regular season win? That would be so weird. Good comment there, Say Kyle. 43 is BA, says Ryan Fussner. I agree. One of my favorites. I like the Dirt documentary. Would have preferred FS1 collab with Flow Racing to show live late model races at Wilkesboro on FS1 this week, though, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, that Dirt documentary is definitely really good. I thought the 23 car was super ugly. Reminded me of a windbreaker jacket from 1992, says Say Kyle. Yeah, so actually, it's funny that you say that. That's exactly what it's based off of. It's based off their 1990s windbreakers and stuff they were famous for in the 90s. So you might hate the look of it, but that's exactly what they were going for. And me being 500 years old, like I still think that's cool. So Mike Concho saying go Larson. So yeah, there you go. I think Larson's pretty good. Homer Simpson going with a 34 to win the Open there. I like your pick there. Imagine, if you will, a world where Ty Dillon wins $1 million tonight. Earth 2 power. Earth 2, strong vibes on that one, EV. I like it. And if you pick Ty Dillon to win, he has got the craziest odds of all time. Ty Dillon to win the Open, not even the All-Star, plus 25,000. So there you go. For entertainment purposes only, whatever. Let's see. The good news is Blaney has been in victory lane 3 times this year, courtesy of Slick William Byron being the slayer of. Oh my goodness! That is a deep cut there, say Kyle. I like it. Being the slayer of Ryan's sister. That is a trophy that a lot of people chased after, allegedly, in the garage. Fox gets an L this week for putting the truck race on the big network, but leaving the All-Star on FS1. This event has always been on cable, but with all the hype, it should have been on Fox. I agree with you 100%. 23 is fire, says he who. And say Kyle saying being the. So here we go. I'm going to end this poll. Looks like 55% Larson. And I'm going to start the other poll. Best paint. Can't spell at all. All right, there we go. There is the best paint poll. It is up. So let me know who you think. Let's see. Ryan Fussner saying, "Oh man, the Aaron Blaney comment, or Aaron Byron, I guess we should say." But yeah, that that cut deep. That was pretty funny. Joshua Jenkins, diehard petty man, BB go 43. Yeah, I hope he can get a good run in that car. The only thing I would nitpick about that car, they do have the black sidebars on the roof, trying to keep with that legacy motor theme of black and gold. But other than that, that car is absolutely gorgeous. Josh Strickland, y'all talk about y'all's race a little bit. Yeah, so we had a good car. You saw that we were 14th fastest. We probably had a 12th to 20th place car. Then right before the big wreck or whatever, the big crash, I'm talking about the late model race, because obviously Justin Whitaker had an oil line that was cut, so he didn't look good all race because he had oil spilling all over his wheel. So he never had a chance. His car was fast, though. But that being said, never had a chance to show what he could do. But Tate Fogelman probably had a 12th to 20th place car, the way it looked like on the timesheets, and we probably would have got a finish like that somewhere in there if on really early on, Ronnie Bassett Jr. spotter had a blind spot. He was sitting over there where Freddie Kraft told all the spotters to sit, but there was one white tent. So even sitting over there, there was one blind spot. And of course, in that blind spot, his spotter missed the call, and Ronnie Bassett Jr. Came up and chopped our nose. Like I said, the spotter came over and 100% said it was his fault. So chopped our nose, knocked out the hood pin bar. So we had to tape the hood back on. And just from there, the car, like, you don't get the same downforce when you don't have anything holding the nose and the hood down to where it was previously. So Tate drove the wheels off of it, got like a 21st, 22nd, which doesn't sound great, but in a field of 30-something cars where there's no slouches, there's no also rans in that particular race. Like, it was an invite only, so it was nothing but killers. Let's just be honest. And he did pretty good. He held his own, all things considered. So it was what it was. It was cool to work a race there. Unfortunately, the night didn't go our way, but hey, that's racing. I'm not going to complain about it. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be working a race at North Wilkesboro. Not only that, but working for Jay Fogelman, Tate Fogelman's dad, who was an absolute legend at Orange County, South Boston, just a local legend around here, really good race car driver. Innkeeper number 5 for you that used to collect the Racing Champions diecast. That was Jay Fogelman. So yeah, it was a cool experience for me. Napa Racing fan, are there too many cars in the All-Star race tonight with 24? It's usually been 20. For a short track, I actually like 24 cars because you're going to see more beating and banging. Other tracks, I don't know. You might make a different argument for other tracks, but I think on a short track, I think 24 is about a perfect number for an all-star. Seriously, screw that guy who punched out Landon Husband's dad in school as his wife was trying to pull for Carson, a right hook, and failed. Even more embarrassingly, those two need to be suspended indefinitely. I agree with you. There's no place. Annabeth Crum and Josh Crum is who he's talking about there. There's no place for that. It was complete and total bullcrap, especially because it was more or less a racing incident. So it is what it is. I know it's about the All-Star race, but I'm pissed off what happened to Landon Huffman and his aging father. He literally barely moved that lady out of the way. And she and her husband bugged out. Yeah, like I agree with you 100%. It was chicken shit on their part. So that's all I'll say about it. Both moves. Any word on if they're pressing charges on that chode of a husband and clothesline the spotter? Yeah, I hope they do. Because there's no room for that. That's why I talk about whenever they have fights in the pits and stuff, that stuff should not be glorified, because it leads to idiots like this thinking it's okay and funny. And he literally was stomping on a downed guy. Now, if you get a guy down, that's one thing. But then to stomp on a down guy, that shows his character as a human being. He's a piece of trash. Eric Harris, I got my money on Ty in the open. Larson, Busher, Bubba Suarez, and Byron for the million, says Eric Harris. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Those are all good picks. They've all showed speed. Bubba, I would worry about Bubba's long run. Busher, definitely. Larson, I would worry about Larson's long run. Suarez, Byron, and Busher, though, I like those picks 100%. Ty in the open seems to be everybody's pick, so those look pretty good there. I wish Reese's would come back on the 29 car for this race. Oh, that would be really cool. Hopefully they can do that at some point this year, and you get an old Reese's throwback. That would be pretty neat. Elite Precision, what's up, man? Can't believe North Wilkesboro is back. If the race it's the car's fault, not the track. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. NASCAR needs to blame the car if this isn't a great race. I'm with you on that. By the way, it's time to bring Rockingham back, which is a better track in my opinion. Yeah, so a lot of people do like Rockingham, and Rockingham is a lot closer to being back than North Wilkesboro was when they wanted to bring that back. If you haven't heard of Elite Precision, by the way, check his channel out. Really good channel, underrated. If you like what you see there, give him a follow. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to be blamed on the car. It can't possibly be blamed on the track after all the good racing that we've seen leading up to this point. So hopefully they get the car right for this race. And yeah, Rockingham, I think, is going to be brought back for something pretty soon. I would imagine at least a truck race or at least an Xfinity Series race. Big Hat Byron says, just imagine this. Imagine telling NASCAR fans 10 years ago we'll be racing at North Wilkesboro again in the Cup Series and with rain tires. Imagine how crazy that would sound. Yeah. They probably would have locked you up in the mental hospital back then if you said that. Bumblebee saying, "What's up to Elite? Say Kyle, not Kyle. Elite. I'm waiting patiently for that Kevin LePage video." Says say Kyle, not Kyle. So there you go. Elite's getting requests too. I love it. TJ Moorshed says, "Feels like yesterday seeing that 29 car on the ticker. Wish Harv would stay in that number for the rest of the season." Says TJ. Yeah, it would be cool if he did that for the rest of the season. It would be pretty neat. And Elite saying, "What's up to everybody? I'm hard at work on it." Talking to say Kyle, not Cal, on that LePage video. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're definitely waiting to see that one. There is a big difference between a racing fight and straight up assault. They need to be brought in front of a judge. Says say Kyle, not Cal. Yeah, that's a fact. 100%. They definitely need to be brought in front of a judge. Anytime you stomp somebody that's down like that, that's attempted manslaughter. Period. End of conversation. William Wagaman, enjoy your race day, BB. I'm going to eat my supper. So yeah, there you go. It is supper time for a lot of people. As a diehard 24, I'm not picking Byron for victory lane tonight, y'all. Says say Kyle. Uh-oh. Come on now. He's been good all season. Ryan Fussner, Rockingham, loving that comment. Yeah, I think a lot of people would love to see Rockingham back. So I think that would be definitely another good one. Looks like Kevin Harvick is winning the poll here, so I'm going to end that one because I've just thought of another poll that I want to do. Track you want to see come back next? And let's see here. What's another one? I'm gonna go with those ones because yeah, why not? And I think I saw Nashville down there. I feel like Nashville's coming back, so that's the reason I left Nashville out of this one. But yeah, 100%. Let's see. I would love to see Rockingham with this new car, says Homer Simpson. Yeah, that Rockingham might actually really suit this new car. That actually is not a bad idea. Race day dinner is grilled ham and pineapple with collard greens, rice, and King's Hawaiian rolls. So there you go. Bumblebee rolling sneakily with the number 6 car there with that. I like that Hawaiian rolls drop there. Sounds like a good dinner too. Joshua Jenkins, I wish the STP would sponsor more races like the 43, 5 to 10 races, says Joshua. That would be awesome, man. I think they would have so many diecasts and stuff sold if that was the case. Brian Chastain, that's felonious assault. I agree with that 100%. And hopefully the prosecutors in Hickory see it the same way. Country style ribs, spuds, and mixed veggies, says Mark Barnum. I like that. I always like mixed veggies. I think they go with pretty much everything. Stomping someone is a good way to meet a Glockopus or a Siguana in some parts of the country. LOL, says say Kyle, not Cal. Yeah, that's a fact. 100%. And sometimes you can meet something totally different where you don't even have to aim it that much. That would be another one you could meet. Same here on Rockingham, says Homer. So I'm saying I discourage fighting because it always ends in a situation like that, it seems like. Same here on Rockingham. Homer, says Tim Bray. So, yeah, a lot of people want to see Rockingham. Nashville, I think, is coming back. That's why I left Nashville off of that one. Joshua Strickland, send me a plate, Mark. So there you go. Y'all folks are making some folks hungry over there. I had a cheeseburger for my lunch today, so I'm still good. Rockingham is my favorite track ever. The bank end, it chews up tires. It's a fast track for its size and the way the drivers have to drive. That track is unique compared to other tracks. Yeah, I agree. It's got different corners, and I think it's got some elevations similar to Wilkesboro, but not the exact same. Just stupid. They are not racing Iowa, says Mark Barnum. I agree. Iowa's a great track. I would love to see that one on the schedule. I want to see Tiburon Fantasy Track make an appearance, says say Kyle, not Cal. So yeah, the old secret Tiburon track that EA Sports used to put in the game, the Florida Tiburon, that was like the reverse Daytona or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a fantasy track that EA Sports always put in the game. Napa Racing Fan, what are the chances of the return to North Wilkesboro points race for Cup. The surface would have to be repaved. Oh, it would definitely have to be repaved for that. But I think the chances are pretty good once they move the All-Star race somewhere else. I think North Wilkesboro gets a points paying date. Oh yeah, Road America. Yes, please, says Ryan Fussner. EB eating good tonight, says Say Kyle. My answer for your poll is all of the above, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, I wish I could have a fifth option where you could just put all of the above, because I feel like that would be the overriding answer there. My answer for your poll is all the above. I just read that one for some reason. I read it twice. Brian Chastain, what Dale Jr. wants, Dale Jr. gets. Nashville will be back. Yeah, Nashville will be back, no doubt about it. They're working toward it every day. So that one, I have a strong feeling is going to be back. Road America was my favorite road course on the schedule, still with Xfinity, but shouldn't have lost a Cup date to the Chicago streets. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably feel like that. Who do you predict will be the first car out in the All-Star race? Ooh, first car out in the All-Star race. That's a good question. Let me ponder on that for a minute. I could take the safe bet and say Ricky Stenhouse, but I'm not going to do that because I'm dumb. So let me think on that for a minute. Are you going to watch the Indy 500 qualifying today, says Peanut Butter Hero? Yeah, I will check that out probably here in just a few minutes. And that's probably about 10 more minutes. I'm going to hop off here. Ray Hall not looking good, says Peanut Butter Hero. That stinks, man. I hate that. I saw Catherine Legg got the fastest qualifying for a female ever. Didn't they repave Rockingham, says Anthony Bailey? Yes, they repaved Rockingham for sure. It is really, I mean, it's basically Cup ready, I would say. They would have to make very few changes there. Peanut Butter Hero, I watched the Cup Hauler driver streams. They're not thrilled about going to Chirac. A lot of people are not. Brett Griffin is most vocal about not wanting to go there. Napa Racing Fan says, yes, they just repaved Rockingham not too long ago, and that's a fact. Who is your pick for the win today? I'm going with either Kyle Larson or Daniel Suarez. That's who I'm sort of feeling there. Beer can chicken. Oh man, that's good, Jimmy. Taters, green beans, about to go on the Weber. Oh, the Weber grill. Bringing back the Rock, and Byron keeps it going tonight. So another vote for Fast Willie B there. First car out will be Chastain. That's probably not a bad pick, and I hate to say that. But this might be the race that somebody decides to exact their revenge. So that might be a pretty good guess there as well. The Chicago thing is going to end up being a nightmare. I'll be amazed if the second year option is picked up by the city. Says say Kyle, not Cal. Yeah, I'm surprised they're even going to get it off this time. I guess they're locked in because I know the current political situation doesn't want it there. If there's any tracks that you would like to see dropped from the schedule, says Homer Simpson. Not any tracks I want to see dropped, but I definitely want to see some places get only one date instead of two. I will say that. I'm going with Eric Jones. I'm sorry that the car was not that good during the heat races, and I don't know if he will make the car. It was extremely horrendous. I think he's going to be the first DNF. I mean, that's probably a pretty fair guess. That's not a bad pick there, Moulton. Appalachia Dogs says, I hate to say it, but 2 to 3 years, the spring Bristol race will go to North Wilkesboro. Yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world because it makes the Bristol race special again. I'm on the train of Talladega and Daytona are the only two tracks that should have 2 dates. They should spread the wealth. NASCAR should spread the wealth to these other tracks that the fans want to see. Yes, it's cool for your track to have 2 dates, and I know I would only get to go to Martinsville one time a year, but it would be so much better for the rest of the fans in the nation. They didn't have to. They live in certain locations. They wouldn't have to travel so far out of their region to get to a NASCAR Cup Series racetrack. Napa Racing Fan, me too. That's very disappointing. Aloha, Baloney Man. I missed the fight. Sounds nasty. Yeah, it was pretty bad, Big Wheel. I guess I'll, since I've talked about it so much, I guess I'll put it in the next video I make so people know what I'm talking about. 5 Car is getting the checker flag today, says Say Kyle. Yep, I hope he does. Will Ross wreck anyone today, says Homer Simpson. I hope so, because God knows we haven't talked about it enough. which either if he wrecks him or not, I'm still putting the poll question out tomorrow on Twitter. Are we mad at Ross Chastain today? I'm going to do it every time I remember to do it after every race. Thoughts about a doubleheader weekend, Nashville Superspeedway, Nashville Fairgrounds. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Chi-Town is upside down at the moment, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, it used to be a super nice city. Unfortunately, it is not anymore, from what I've heard. Ross, be a Moose Chastain for the win. Kidding, I think nobody cuts him a break today and is out early, says Shy. So a lot of people picking Ross to be the first one out. It's going to Nashville, says Peanut Butter Hero. Yes, the track's dropped from the schedule. The obvious Texas Motor Speedway. Well, yeah, you could drop Texas, but they're fixing to redo it. So we'll see what happens there. The 24 won the last race at Wilkesboro. The 24 wins the first race back. Says like dislike. I want 2 races at Daytona, Talladega, Bristol, and Martinsville. Other than that, 1 race each with me. Says, say Kyle, I'd be 100% okay with that as well. So yeah, I will say that Martinsville and Bristol would be the 2 last places I would take a race away from, other than Daytona and Talladega. I'll include Talladega and Daytona as well when it comes to having 1 date. Says Elite. Oh, so there you go. He wants 1 date at all of them. So yeah, that would really spread the wealth there. So yeah, but I don't know. Talladega and Daytona is just so different than anywhere else. Until recently, I guess Atlanta. So I guess you can make that argument. I'm on the same train about Daytona and Talladega, says Homer Simpson. Doubleheader weekends, says Ryan Fussner. Doubleheader weekends were pretty cool. So I don't know why they didn't keep doing them. Nashville is legit building a new NFL stadium and developing a new part of the city called East Bank. So there you go. Nashville is going to be a super big. That's going to be a super big draw here before too long. I also like that there's only 30,000 seats at North Wilkesboro, which makes it look fuller, even though there's probably less fans here than a lot of racetracks that people were like, man, nobody showed up at the track today. So that might be a strategy NASCAR can do going forward. And then, but ticket prices would be super high like they are for this one as well. So maybe they can find a happy medium where like maybe 50,000 at some tracks, so it always looks full. There would be better attendance if most tracks only had 1 date, says Anthony Bailey. That's 100% accurate as well. So maybe you go 75,000 at some tracks and then, or cap it at 50 or 60. That way they always look full no matter what. I remember yesterday with the heat races, the second one, Kyle Busch was running so poorly. Me and everyone in a server were questioning like if he was in a Rick Ware car. And then he made passes out of nowhere. So yeah, he basically, I guess, was saving his tires and then made a run at the end. That's a situation I would look for in this all-star race as well. You might see somebody looking like they're just riding around. Then toward the end of the race, they take off and go. We saw that in the late model race. So tire fall off is going to be a game that's played here for sure. Then when they just built the soccer stadium and now they're renovating the track, I might move to Nashville, says Peanut Butter Hero. There's definitely a lot of people that are in that same boat. I'm going to root for BK, says Emmett Keaton. Noah out early, says Chastain, Brian Chastain. So yeah, that could happen, but he would have to make the All-Star race, and then he would have to exit early because he's only in the open as we speak. Then again, Chicago might end up fine. I mean, as they say, it is a red hat country after all. I mean, you never know. Go Brad, go RFK, says Brian Chastain. I think Brad Keselowski has a good chance, and I think RFK is going to be a team with here, no doubt about it. Dale Earnhardt could have been the 1989 champion if we're not getting into Ricky Rudd to battle for that Wilkesboro win, to be Lee and Johnson very easily. Could have been 8-time champions also, says Napa Racing fan. Yep, it's crazy how sometimes one little thing decides a championship. Large crowds are a thing of the past, says Philip Canavan. In this new digital era, that might be a fair statement. Nashville Fairgrounds is awesome. I saw SRX there, sold out a few years back. Pocono doubleheader was, Nashville Fairgrounds is awesome, and the SRX is awesome. I agree with you, Ryan Fussner. Pocono doubleheader, same car races each race. Car is impounded after race 1, no adjustments in between. Race 1 is left turns, race 2 is right. Run reverse, that would be epic or a shit show. LOL, says say Kyle. So there's some lower divisions that they flip a coin and that decides which way the cars are going to run on the track. So depending on how you hit the setup that night, if you set it up to turn right or you set it up to turn left, that depends on a flip of the coin. Ricky Rudd had to be hauled out in a van under a blanket because they wanted to assassinate him, says Brian Chastain, talking about that 1989 Wilkesboro race. So Ricky Rudd and Jeff Bodine and Dale Earnhardt, that was a vicious triangle of wreckage back in the day. Napa Racing fan, race 1, triangle, race 2, infield road course. / triangle. Says Napa Racer Fan. That would be pretty cool. I do think that they should use the Pocono Road Course if Pocono is going to have 2 dates. Howdy, I'm real late. Howdy, y'all from Canada. What's up, Robin Marks? You got me here right as I'm fixing to check out. But what's up, Robin? What's up, Canada? Hello, my fellow Canucks, says Shaw. Josh Strickland, Kyle Larson has raced 199 tracks in NASCAR. Would chop it up for different tracks would be awesome. Yeah, I think different tracks are definitely going to be the way to go in the future. I think Ricky Rudd deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame, says Ryan Fussner. I agree with that. Take off, Shaw, you hoser. So there you go. We got some Canadian slang going on. I love it. And of course, I was waiting for that, Robin Marks. Robin Marks, a big Ricky Rudd man. So that's the way we're going to end this one. And let me end this poll before I forget. Good luck to your drivers tonight in the All-Star. Like I said, I'm taking Austin Dillon or Daniel Suarez for the upset. And for my favorite to win the race, I'm going with either Kyle Larson or also Daniel Suarez. But don't count out any of those other drivers as well. So like I said, good luck to your drivers, and thanks for your time. Peace.